Hello, welcome back to the channel. What about a visit to a community garden? During this video we're going to visit the Blooming Inverkip garden and find out all about what the team do here. Okay, we're joined by Bob Russell. Bob, hello there. How are you doing today?
Good to meet you. Thanks for coming down to the garden.
Excellent, excellent. So, great work you've got here at the garden. Tell us all about the garden.
Tell us all about the
Yes.
garden. Where to start? Well, I think the first thing that I would say, well, obviously we're here, this is the transformation garden. And this was actually the first garden here at Inverkip Hub. Prior to this, the whole of the area around here was just basically just kind of, green grass around the hub after it was built. The actual transformation garden came about after we'd formed the groups. We were about maybe, I would say it was about 6 weeks old, the actual group.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking to maybe do a couple of planters. It was actually these kind of planters down there.
Oh yeah.
And then some person had the idea of, well, why don't we apply for this competition that's going on up at Garden in Scotland? So we had said, I said, okay, well, we'll come up with a wee idea, we'll put something in there. Now, there used to be a Slimming World group that ran here, one of my friends that ran the group, and she came out one day and we were looking for a theme for it. And she said, Bob, you should see the people that come into the Slimming World. They come in here like they're like caterpillars, and then they leave like butterflies. Caterpillar. Right, okay, there we go. So, long story short, we come up with you can see I think there might be a wee butterfly on there, I'm not sure. It was we come up with this idea of a transformation garden. So it was a Slimming World themed butterfly garden that we took to Garden in Scotland 6 weeks after forming as a group. We knew nothing about each other, and then we found ourselves basically taking a garden design up to an RHS garden show.
Oh, right.
Go figure.
Yeah.
So basically this was the first garden. We took that up to the garden show up at the Garden in Scotland 2019. Put it all together. It was a crazy 6 weeks, and we came back there with a Silver Gilt award, which basically it was like a kind of launch pad for us.
So well done. Yeah, that's great.
It just kind of went from there. We thought, well, we're onto something here. And then all the plants that you see here now were plants from that original, and it was only a 2 metre by 2 metre garden up there. These were the original plants came down and get planted here. Mm-hmm. And this was the first site that we basically kind of dug up and planted here in the transformation garden. Mm-hmm. So essentially that's where the kind of name came from. So this tree that was here, which we just harvested apples from just last week, this was part of the actual design, and it was only about that height. Yeah. We came and planted it in here, and now we've got, 12, 15 foot on it.
Right.
And then basically, things have just kind of, I suppose, transformed really is a word from there. And to the point that the other gardens have then all taken on a bit of a theme of their own, just because that took on a bit of a theme. So that's how we really got started.
Well, what kind of soil are you dealing with here, or have you got to bring in your own compost and all that?
I was going to say that, because this was brand new at the time, with the soil being full of stones and what have you.
Yes, tricky, stones and whatever the kind of builders of the building left over for us to deal with. It was quite challenging. I would say it's actually more surprisingly over at the other part of the garden. But again, here it was a case of lifting the turf and then just kind of finding our way really, because at that point we didn't really know too much, and it was a learning process for everybody. But the whole thing here was just to have something nice at the entrance, so that when you've got the people walking by going into the hub, they then got a nice shot of a few wee flowers, and then it kind of snowballed from there.
It really cheers you up seeing all these colours here, doesn't it?
Well, it's certainly
a brilliant colour. Yeah.
I think one of the things that we like is the fact that almost every day when you come down here, you can see something different. And that's really what we've tried to achieve over the years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the original plan. There was no such thing as a plan.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we like about gardening. There's no such thing as a plan.
Yeah. It changes all the time.
Exactly. You go with the flow and you just see what happens. But what has evolved is essentially in spring, you'll have the daffodils, you'll have the tulips, you'll have the snowdrops, you'll have the crocus coming through. All of this will be gone because it'll be cut back.
Yep.
But then once you see the daffodils, you know, you get that excitement, and you get, oh, spring's here. And then when the daffodils are all dying back, you see these kind of herbaceous perennials starting to come through, and you start to see a bit of colour there. So
I should say we're recording this video near the end of September, into October, so it's probably near the end of the season for you.
well, that's exactly it. Yeah. So for example, you see these flowers here. These are Japanese anemones. So that's one called Honorine Jobert. And you tend to get that at this time of year. So you'll see these sort of flowers at this time of year. But when you get to springtime, it'll be kind of daffodils and tulips and so on that you'll see around the garden. And then it varies as the year goes on. And that's basically one of the things I enjoy about it. And I think some of the people that come to the hub is that when you're down here, whatever season you're in, there's always something to see. And if we're doing that and people are enjoying that, then you know we're doing our job. Okay, so we're over here to another part of the garden here. We call this the Star Garden. And basically this came about, there used to be a big container here and it just kind of covered everything up and there was no grass growing and it looked a mess. And then kind of COVID hit and you know we were out and about getting our daily walks during COVID, but we couldn't do anything inside, so we would come down to the garden, we would tag team in and out. So obviously we were working 2 meters apart, but at that time there was quite an emphasis on you know, people that were key workers. And basically what we done during COVID is that we clubbed together as a team, bought a lot of the plants here, used these recycled pallet collars and created a wee star shape in there that you can see. And we made this by tagging in now over a couple of months really, and it was a dedicated garden to key workers, so it was a star garden for key workers is what it was called. And you'll find that there's on some of the kind of planters that are there, there's like wee kind of keys and so on.
Excellent. I know during COVID it was important to get out into the garden and because that really helped with mental health, didn't it?
I think it really did at the time, and really we didn't really know it. I mean, there's one of my favourite pictures that we've got of the group is actually more down towards the vegetable area, where we've got 4 of the girls from the group and they're just standing with the sun in the background and they're standing like that with their 2 meters apart difference. And that kind of brought it home a wee bit to you that even though we're going through times like that, you could still get out and about, and you could still, you know, enjoy the garden. And I think really if it wasn't for us being able to do that, obviously things would have been a lot more difficult for us.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Would have done, yep. So move on.
Moving on a wee bit further, and it's really a bit further in our kind of journey, David, is that this is actually the contemplation garden. And it was more, we had another bit of a space left here that we hadn't really kind of, you know, done any work on. And it was myself and my crazy colleague, Handy Andy. One day we were down in the garden and we were sitting over there, just sitting on the ground. It was all grass in there. And we were thinking, what could we do with this area? And we were sitting, we were maybe just having a bit of a contemplation about what we were going to do. And that was it, we were having a contemplation. We were thinking about, well, what else, you know, could we do here? And one of the ideas that we came up with is at that time when people were coming out of the kind of COVID time, and people were dealing with the loss of relatives and things like that, the one thing we didn't have in the garden was a bit of a kind of quiet space. A wee area to come down, just sit, eat your lunch, sit down, have a wee bit of a contemplation. And if we go inside, and it's relatively tidy at the moment.
Oh, it's a nice space, a really nice space. I like this one. This is a really nice space, isn't it?
So I think the thing with this, and it's different at different times of the year, but when you come in here, you can see that the actual planting has got a bit of height in it. So if you want to come in and have a wee private conversation, or you want to get away and just have things a wee bit kind of quieter, we want to just create a wee space like this in here. A lot of the time it's used for storage as well, I have to confess. Even if you come down, you know, sit here, smell the roses, hide away from it and so on, it's just another wee idea, a wee kind of closed off space, and that's, you know, you want to contemplate, and that's where that came from. So
how was all of this section curated? How did you come up with that?
Curated, and that's a cracking word. I wish I could call myself the curator of the contemplation garden. I do like garden design myself, and I've always been a fan of plants and so on, so it's a wee bit of an indulgence for myself. But to a degree it's a bit more of a muted palette. but you'll really just find that what you have here is more kind of pinks and whites and green and pinks and whites and green. It's more a, it's not like tropical colours where you get your yellows and your reds and so on. And it was just more to change the kind of mood. And what you'll tend to find, there's a bit of mirror in as well. So there's like a cherry tree here, cherry tree there. It's the same type. You've got the Stepa gigantea, which is a big grass there, and you've got one.
That's nice and tall, yeah.
Just in there as well.
Yeah.
You've got the same kind of rose there, same kind of rose. We've got a peach tree here, grasses at the same points and so on. So it's just to kind of create that mirrored image, because you've got the central point here, and then you've got a planter there and planter there, and basically just to wherever you look, you're kind of seeing the same thing, and it's just that kind of mirrored style. So that was kind of the idea behind it, and obviously to fit in with the space as well. And it changes all throughout the year, but just to try and make it look attractive and pleasing to the eye as well.
Do you have it in your mind first before you go ahead with the creation of it?
My mind can be a dangerous place, according to my colleagues. We're not allowed to say the P word, and that is I'll tell you what the P word is.
That's right.
Project. But we're not allowed to say the P word. But again, sometimes that's what it needs. It just needs a wee bit of an idea, a spark, like somebody walking out and telling you about their Slimming World experience, and then before you know it, you've got a garden. And it's similar to
when you're creating the garden, did you have power tools, or was it all hand dug and tilled and all?
Yeah. So what I should is it's a really good question, because you would think that if you were a garden designer, you would have all that equipment. The answer is it was all done by hand. It was all done by the team. Handy Andy, as it says, and actually a young lad called Craig were instrumental in the design and putting the physical, the hard landscaping parts together. One of our volunteers, Archie, is like he could dig for Scotland, as it were. Myself, I'm more I would say I'm more the kind of plantsman, as it were. I wouldn't trust myself to hammer a nail into a wall. But that's what's required with regards to a community garden, is everybody brings something to it. Different people have different skills. Everybody has got something to offer. You do not need to be a gardener to be in a community garden. The last thing we need is gardeners. What you need is volunteers and enthusiasm. And that's what we have, and that's basically what created this, was volunteers, hard work and enthusiasm, and just a wee bit of a crazy idea.
Yep. Have you got a big team? As a lot of volunteers in the...
I would say we have a steady team, in the sense that there are recurring people that they come down as volunteers on a regular basis. We run a group on Saturdays from 10 to 1, where we all kind of meet up and run a gardening club as such. But we try not to be too formal, because some of the volunteers, a lot of them are retirees, will come down during the week and maybe ping each other a message, say, hey, I'm going down to the garden Monday, do you want to come down? And then they'll come down and meet up with each other. And one of the benefits of that, or one of the benefits certainly, watching or leading to a degree a group like this, is watching these friendships form.
Yeah.
Where you'll see, A, B, C, and D get together, go down to the garden, do a wee bit of work, and then maybe, head away for a bit of Prosecco or something like that, or a cup of tea or a coffee. And that's one of the benefits of a community garden, is seeing the community come together and friendships being made, and that's one of the benefits, certainly for me, and hopefully for them.
It is. The nasturtiums are excellent. They're doing well.
I think the nasturtiums, I mean, this area here is our kind of vegetable growing area and so on. And to a degree, the nasturtiums are a bit of a companion plant, but they're also edible.
I've never tried one.
You never tried one?
No.
Well,
you can eat these. Yeah.
So, I mean, what I would do is,
do you take them yourself? Right, give it a go.
You get a wee bit of a kick off it as well.
It is, yeah.
And they can be used as like garnishes and food and so on.
Yep. Peppery, yeah, it is. I can get it now.
And I think one of the benefits of having it as well is, when it's an area where you're predominantly growing vegetables and producing produce, you still want it to look attractive.
Oh yeah.
So having your nasturtiums here at the front, Sometimes the runner beans that are growing up the back, they have colourful flowers as well. You know, even a vegetable garden can be attractive to a degree.
I know the bees love these. I got some good shots on camera earlier on with the bees enjoying these, enjoying the mushrooms. Tom Thumb's our name, isn't it? Tom Thumb's our name for them.
You know, I mean, the nasturtiums I think is one of the favourites, and even growing them from hanging baskets is another thing. You can get the trailing ones where you can get them growing down and they'll sprawl out over your hanging baskets.
What's this here? This one?
So this is kale or Cavolo Nero. You know, and this is the sort of thing. If you want to be like Popeye in your 70s or 80s, apparently if you eat a lot of this, I wouldn't really eat it raw, but it's really good with regards to, you know, vitamins and iron and all these things that are meant to be good for you. It's actually quite good, even just kind of dry roasting it and things like that. So, you know, if you want to be like me, I'm 75 years of age. Then you know, grow some kale. That's good.
You grow all your own veg. Yeah, that's a good sustainability, isn't it?
Well, I think
growing produce.
I think that's exactly it, as you say. I mean, a lot of these are coming to the end of the season, and they'll be kind of cut back and so on. But we've been harvesting. I mean, I don't know if there's anything left in here. We've been harvesting out these beds all year. I don't even know. These are courgettes.
Courgettes. Right.
We picked a few marrows out of here because they've been so long.
That's a nice smell off of these for you, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
That is a nice smell.
You know, there we go. I think somebody's been in at the courgettes.
Has it been a good season though? Yeah, for you.
I would. The courgette an eggplant? Is that the same name or is that something different?
So you're thinking more of like an aubergine,
right.
Which we're hoping we'll be growing things like that in the future. We're hoping to have you know, an indoor growing facility at some point. We did have a greenhouse which could have disappeared in the storm, as you can imagine, like everyone else's did. But we do have plans to expand on that. But this area here was actually originally during COVID. We were going to do this as we're going to do like a people's border, and people come down, plant their own plants, and create it. That was the initial idea. COVID happened. And then we thought, well, we'll grow some food so people can get out, get food, because of people couldn't get to shops and so on. And that's how the vegetable borders came about. And then this was upgraded a bit last year, so that maybe go down here, give you a wee example, where it was just to make it a wee bit more accessible. Because as I say, some of our so we're a wee bit higher up, but we've got this. So if you want to come in and just sit down and pop it about, then it makes it a wee bit kind of easier. So whatever age you are, there's no excuse. And if you've got mobility issues, well, you know, you can just about get in here, sit down, have a wee rest. So do a wee bit of painting, but that'll be part of the springtime.
Yeah, no, that is excellent. Yeah, that's great. Good quality. I like the colours in this little section here. It's got a nice vibrant coloured plant here. I like this wee section here as well.
Well, this section,
I like all mine, but I particularly like these colours here.
So this tends to come to life a wee bit more in the autumn. These are they used to call them sedum autumn joy, until some smart person at the RHS or whatever changed the name to Hylotelphanium or something like that. But essentially, they're normally, especially earlier on in the day, they're a magnet for bees and hoverflies and what have you. Just basically because every single, if you look in there, that's not the flower, every single little bit there is one individual little flower. So they can get nectar out of every single little point that's on here, and if you look at that there, that's why they're quite attractive, because there's just so many different sources of nectar in there. And it goes very well with the rudbeckias as well. You get that colour contrast. I mean, this area, we call this the faraway corner because it's in the corner and it's far away. There's a wee acer in the corner there. It's a wee contorted acer. And one of the stories about that is one of our volunteers. I'll stick her name on it. Her name's Jill, and she's one of our fantastic volunteers. Before she moved into our garden, because she's only moved into the area in the past few years, we had actually been up into the garden that was there. Somebody was moving out and they were giving away plants and says, you want to come and take away some plants for the garden? So literally we dug up her garden before she moved into our garden, and that exactly. You know, and we did confess to her after she had done a few shifts down here, but So that's a wee favourite plant in the corner, but it's just so that there's another wee sit spot down there as well, and sometimes some people take on a wee project in a wee area, so maybe this time next year we'll have like snowdrops and things like that coming up there in springtime and what have you. But it's just to kind of keep the area flowing. Where there's a spare area, there's always place for a garden.
What's your favourite season for gardening?
Oh, now that's I don't know if that's an unfair question. To be honest, if I was going to be philosophical, I would say my favourite time in the garden is now. Because you only get it now.
Right.
If I was just going to be plain and normal and what have you, I would actually say I'm a fan of spring.
Right.
Because in spring, we normally start our gardening season from Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day, the 14th, the love of the garden, and it's basically everything kind of starts from then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fan of spring, because as soon as you see that first daffodil, you just know it's
starting to get there.
Mm-hmm. And then it's going to move on, and then
you're going to get a whole big burst of colours
you're going to
in
get
the summer.
Exactly, and then you're going to get the tulips, and then you're going to get into the perennials, and I mean, I never thought when I was in my early 50s I'd be so excited about gardening.
Yeah, well, the garden's brilliant.
Here I am. And,
you get so relaxed doing garden, don't you? Stress, it reduces all your stress, makes your blood pressure low as well. It's really recommended by doctors as well. Yeah, it's still mine. When I get to create a new bed for us, always having new beds created in my own garden at home. So
I don't know. I would say it has its tremendous benefits. Certainly for us, it does. It can be stressful at times, it can be hard work, but when it comes down to it, I think you see the benefit in the before and after.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And certainly for myself and certainly our volunteers, when they see what was here before and what they've created, I think the sense of pride they get from it as well. Because that's the team. I didn't do that. They didn't do it. We done that. And the community appreciate it, and the fact that you get the beauty throughout the year. What's not to love?
Yep.
And then you're in the outdoors. You get to meet friends. There's very little I could say that's negative about it. And how many other things in life would we say that about?
Yep.
Yeah. So this area here, and there's so much in here at the moment, and we've got Alchemilla mollis, we've got a wee bit of foxgloves, and we've got quite a jumble. We've got some dahlias and various other things in here. But one of our volunteers, Ines, who I believe you met, it's actually she's had an interest in weaving and spinning and various things like that for years and years and years. She's quite the master or mistress of it. I don't know what's the correct term there.
And she does the walking
groups.
She does the walking groups. Exactly.
Music. Yeah.
And she's mentioned a couple of times, and she was saying, like, Bob, some of these plants you can make them into dyes, and I'm like, look away with you, she's like, no, honestly, you can. And, for a couple of years she mentioned this, and I'm like, we need to maybe do something with that. So this, raised bed was donated by a local member of the public, and there's some compost, and I thought, something, right, okay, you can, put your book and your money where your mouth's worth. And basically that's where this has come from. So this has just been established this year, and it's the dye plant garden.
Excellent.
Don't ask me any of it and what's going to come from this and so on, but
foxgloves are a good plant to have, isn't it? That's good for wildlife. Well, the bees love those.
Foxgloves are, I don't think we could live without our digitalis. And there's many different varieties. We'll have them dotted about over the year. But apparently, as much as they can, apparently they're toxic. Don't be eating it.
No, you don't do that.
Exactly. But apparently you can make dyes with it as well.
And
your dahlias, which are these kind of prettier ones around here.
Nice colours. Look at that.
You can get. Now, I don't know whether
nice.
you would get dyes from the plants or the stems, but there's things that are planted in here for a reason.
Yep.
And things that are in here maybe just because the weed fairy brought them here. But it'd be quite interesting just to see what actually happens with it, So that's it's just a wee experimental thing, and that's came about because a volunteer had an interest, had an idea, and says, well, why not give it a go and see what we can do with it?
Yep.
Now, as you can probably gather, this is our orchard area.
Right.
These trees are about 3 years old. We've just harvested about, I think it was about 6 or 7 tons of kilograms of apples from these trees. and we're going to try and make them into pies and chutney and things like that. So they need a wee bit of a prune, and we'll do that over the next few weeks.
How's this season been for you?
I think especially for apples, I think it's just been the way, because it's been warm and then you've had the periods of rain and so on. It's just been a great year for apples.
Oh, good.
And I think a lot of people have found that. So even though these trees are only 3 years old, and there's a couple of kind of cherries and pears down there, but apples particularly have been brilliant this year.
So been really good. Quite happy with them.
Well, we're happy with it, but now we know we've got a bit of work to do, a bit of pruning, but that's all part of the job.
Oh yeah.
What we see here, we've got these strawberries. So one of the jobs for the next couple of weeks, so it will be the strawberry runners.
Oh yeah.
So basically these are kind of small plantlets coming off the main plant, and what we'll do is we'll just snip these off from here. That's the kind of roots just coming up there. We'll snip them there, snip that there, snip that there, plant them up, and then keep them somewhere safe over the winter period, and then maybe plant them up, maybe give them away to the kids in spring or something along those lines. So you're kind of harvesting from your own plants as well, propagating them and such like, and tidying up a bit of a mess as well.
Yep. So you've had some hostas in this section. They've done relatively good for you this season, haven't they?
I would say the hostas have done surprisingly well. This area is called the Jubilee Garden. And basically it was built for the Jubilee a few years ago. All these wee kind of stones here were actually painted stones by the primary school children in Inverkip Primary. So you see the 70s and so on, and lots of wee kind of ideas for the Jubilee. There was a few that we got from the school that we had to edit. I'll leave that to your own imagination. But all the plants here were planted by the kids as well during the first ever Kip Fest. So basically these just flower, and there is a bit of a kind of red, white and blue theme. You can just about see it with a wee bit of red still there.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
A wee bit of white at the back.
Vibrant red there, yeah.
Just a wee bit of blue here with a
verbena, is it? Yeah.
Verbena banariense. There you go. See? No, you're
that's a good one, isn't it?
That's a cracker one for butterflies and bees and such like. And the one at the front, actually, the geranium roseanne.
Oh yeah, that spreads quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah. If ever you want a plant for ground cover, giving a bit of spread and giving you 4, 5, 6 months worth of cover, get yourself one of these perennial geraniums. You'll see these dotted about the garden as well. It's one of our favourites. But this area will soon be getting cut back, soon be getting mulched, and maybe I'll leave like a paint as well.
Mulched, you do that, yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, sometimes we do our own composting. So depending on what compost we've got, we'll cut back, some of it. We'll just kind of mulch up, give it a bit of a feed, mulch it up for the winter. And then what we cut back, we take over, put it in the compost, and start the process again.
Do you put cardboard in the soil? Right down so it's.
Well, we use cardboard in the compost.
Right.
When we're so some of the beds that you've seen on the way around, I've got cardboard just down at the bottom, just for recycling it. And
I know it can sometimes help for weeds as well, doesn't it?
Well, it's good as a weed suppressant, and it's also used quite a lot for the no dig method of growing.
I was going to ask that, because a lot of gardeners do it, no dig.
It tends to be the way everyone's going, and it does work. And none of us are getting any younger, so no dig works for us. But the majority of things we've got, as you can see, are in raised beds just because of the site that we have, which also works as well. But there's no digging involved in raised beds as well. So we do kind of, would we call ourselves no dig gardeners to a degree, I suppose?
I see you've got about a ton of tatties.
Tatties, that's them over there.
We'll take you down the tatties. So this is what we call Spud Walk.
Spud Walk.
And what we had done this year, we had been down at 3 town growers down kind of Saltcoats Way and so on, and met up with a team down there, and they have an annual potato day. But what they do is they give away so many different varieties of potatoes. So some Egypt, whatever you want to call them, had an idea that they would maybe grow 25 different varieties, then weigh them, and then see which one was the best varieties and how they all tasted, and we taste tests and so on. And somebody says, that's a daft idea. And I thought, okay, well, we're going to do that then. And basically that's what we've done. So we've had varieties like, oh dear, Red Duke of York, Epicure, Swift, and so on.
Is that Taylor?
Taylor Swift, yeah.
Taylor. Yeah, she was the best one. But what we've done is we've actually harvested all of them now. So all of these have had potatoes in them. We have harvested all the potatoes. We've done a wee taste test. We've weighed what ones are the best ones and so on. Had a wee bit of fun with that. And then what we've done now is that we've added a wee bit of kind of chicken manure pellets, a wee bit more compost, and then we've planted Christmas potatoes. So we're hoping these are all every single spud in here. There must be about 20 bags. Are all called Jazzy. And we're hoping to have a jazzy Christmas where where we lift the potatoes here, and maybe when it comes to the Christmas light switch on, we'll be harvesting potatoes and giving them away for Christmas. So that's the kind of plan with this down here. So
once a potato is, as it were, harvested, all of this greenery is really compost.
Yeah, it would be composted. Basically, we cut the straws, take it over to the compost, chop it up so it's got a bigger surface area, and then let it. I was going to say let it compost down. As you can see, I think somebody's missed 3 here.
Oh yeah, a bit late now, eh?
A bit late now, I think. But there you go. That's your kind of seed potato to a degree.
So and get it the whole down. Right.
So I don't know if that one would maybe do it, but there we go.
And do you build these up?
There you go.
Plant
yourself a spud there.
Yep, there we go. Yep, plant a spud. There we go.
Yeah. And if that's still there at Christmas, you can come and harvest it.
Oh, good stuff. So Christmas time they'll be ready then, yeah.
Well, we hope so,
Good.
But as I say, it just adds a bit of foliage down the side. Doesn't cause too much of a mess.
Yeah.
And as you say, we'll do this every year or a variety of it, and that's Spud Alley.
Spud Alley, yeah.
Oh. Right, there we go.
There you go. Spud Alley. Right, well, Bob, it's been great to visit the Blooming Inverkip Garden. Great work you're doing here. Thank you very much for joining us on the video. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, no, I would just like to say thank you very much for coming down and having shown a bit of interest in our garden. I would also like to commend you on everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Getting out and about, showing Inverclyde for what it is. Showing what it's all about. That's exactly it. So thank you very much.
As a group on social media, can folk follow you on social media?
So you will follow.
You have a YouTube
so we're on social media. You'll find us on Facebook under just Blooming Inverkip. We're on X. I'm trying to. It's still not working, but that's Bloom in Inverkip. Somebody else had it. And also we've got an Instagram handle as well. For that one is @bloomingbob. And that's where you'll find us. There is a YouTube channel for Bloomin' Inverkip which we are kind of starting, and we'll maybe do a wee bit more of that as time goes on. But you'll find us here every Saturday, 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Come hail, rain, snow, come January all the way through to December, we'll be here. If we're not gardening, we'll be in drinking coffee and eating cake. So if you want to come down and join us, feel free, and we'd love to see you.
Good stuff. Thank you again, Bob. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel to see more of our upcoming videos. Thank you for joining us on this video.